Hello and welcome back to Alice Talks Football and welcome back to a live Manchester United news, transfer news, takeover, general news and chit chat show. The news coming in today is Arsenal apparently opening talks for a move for Marcus Rashford, a rumour going about. INEOS will force Casemiro out, who reportedly had a big fallout with Ten Hag before the FA Cup final. Now, again, I always say leaks, all of these stories, you always have to take it with a pinch of salt, but Brazilian sources who would likely have been briefed by Casemiro's camp have come out and said that he's going to have a meeting with INEOS over his future, that basically there's sort of reports that he's going to leave United. He's had a bust up with Ten Hag before the FA Cup final and he wasn't injured, and there's a whole bit of drama coming out, and it wouldn't be Man United without drama. Manager news has been a bit quieter today, no drama on that. Oh no, Casemiro drama. What is it? Man United drama. Clicks. This club is the Kardashians of football. Sometimes more news on the sort of Rashford situation, more news on De Zerbi, more news on Ten Hag's future, INEOS's big meetings, Sancho, Greenwood, Wan-Bissaka exit will all be covered in today's show as well. And Tottenham are planning to announce the stay of Timo Werner. That's also news coming in from Fabrizio Romano because my phone's just gone off. So let's do this now. We'll talk about Rashford to Arsenal in a second, but I want to dive right into the Casemiro news, the Casemiro drama going about at the moment. So let me share the right screen. So there's a couple of parts to this story. As you can see, there's 3 bits that I need to get into. So there's a lot coming out on Casemiro today, and there's another source saying things, but I don't even know who the other source is, who is saying that he's going to be kicked out and all of that as well. Alex makes a good comment here before I get into the story. Wouldn't be surprised, though, Casemiro and Varane both seem to fall out with Ten Hag. One of my biggest concerns with Ten Hag is it does seem like he's fallen out with both Casemiro and Varane this season. He's fallen out with Ronaldo, people with winning mentalities. He does seem to fall out with big names as well. Rashford, yeah, he'd absolutely... I agree Rashford would smash it on Arsenal. Arteta wouldn't put him on the touchline and tell the players to launch the ball like Eric Ten Hag does. Can't see him going there, though. I think Rashford would be insane for Arsenal. I think Arteta would use him properly, but hopefully he stays and does not even be tempted by a move to Arsenal. Can't see him fully going as well. But let's get into it. So, Casemiro drama. What has been said? Eric Ten Hag and Casemiro have fallen out. There's also another report saying that they had a massive bust up, but that was coming from like the Star, so I'm not going to get into that. It was then said, Manchester United want 30 million for Casemiro. Saudi are believed to have put in offers of around 25 million, or going to put in offers for 25 million, I should say. It was said that Casemiro was hurt by Ten Hag's decision to drop him for the FA Cup final, and that Man United directors and Casemiro hold a meeting about his future. Now, this story also came out the day of the FA Cup final. The morning of the FA Cup final, it came out from Brazilian sources that Casemiro had a fallout with Ten Hag because he was upset that he was dropped from the FA Cup final. But then Man United sources briefed there was an injury, but Brazilian sources were saying he was dropped because he'd fallen out with Ten Hag, and he didn't look very happy at title celebrations. He did not look in the mood. One thing I thought was weird about Casemiro, and I don't like to speculate and add to the drama, was all the players afterwards went and celebrated. Casemiro got on a plane and went on holiday and was like, adios, I'm out. Like, every other player was at the hotel celebrating. Casemiro just got right on a plane, on holiday, I'm out. Did not look happy at the title celebrations. Maybe there's some truth in it. Maybe he was injured. Maybe he was annoyed that he didn't play a part in it. Look, at the end of the day, Casemiro is such a big player that you should start Casemiro in the finals. But at the end of the day, when he's been playing as crap as he has lately, and Amrabat did a good job next to Maino, and we won the final. Like, if we'd lost the final and Amrabat was shocking, Casemiro has legs to stand on. But if we've won the final, Amrabat was class, Casemiro's been crap lately. If he's going to complain that he wasn't picked, mate, you admitted yourself he's been crap. Like, Casemiro admitted himself he's been crap lately. And while I don't think it's totally Casemiro's fault, Ten Hag's played him out of position. Ten Hag's put him in a role where it doesn't utilise his strengths. Like, if he is going to complain like that, it's silly. Casemiro was giving half effort best of late. Certainly deserved at least a talking to. And yeah, I think Casemiro's a player that I wouldn't ever knock his mentality, but I do think that his head is in Saudi. So, that's the way I describe it. You look at the 4-0 Crystal Palace performances. You look at some of his recent performances. I feel a bit sorry Casemiro, because since December, since INEOS was announced, it's basically been said INEOS don't want Casemiro since December. He'd been injured. Then while he was injured, was saying that INEOS don't want Casemiro anyway, and they're going to sell him in the summer. He's basically been told all season, yeah, you're sold next summer because INEOS are in and they don't want you. So he's known this season he's going to be playing and be sold. His head is probably in Saudi. I do think there's elements of it where I feel sorry for Casemiro. He's obviously being forced out. His head is in Saudi, like De Gea was forced out. And I think sometimes we treat players badly. But at the same time, he has been crap. He has been bad. And it's not consistently his fault. But his legs are gone. He can't do what Ten Hag wants him to do. It wasn't Ten Hag's midfield signing in the first place. It was actually De Jong. And INEOS have come in and said, look, we don't want him. He's on big wages. Like, we want to rebuild and we want to kick him out. His legs have gone, and I think we've got to sell Casemiro as well. Blame the people who give out the wrong mega deals. Exactly. At the end of the day, it's not Casemiro's fault. It's not Ten Hag's fault. It's the people that give out the big mega deals to aging players at Real Madrid as well. Casemiro will be fine in the slower league. He can't handle the pace of the Premier League, and the Premier League is the quickest league, which I think is another reason why he may struggle. Thank you very much, Kevin, for the super chat as well. Get rid of Rashford and get Greenwood back ASAP. Greenwood has done well out on loan. Bringing back Casemiro, sell him. We don't need him. Rashford has more goals than Greenwood this season, though, which I think is crazy statistic. So, I mean, personally, I would keep Rashford and I'd sell Greenwood. Greenwood is pure FFP profit. Rashford, we know, has 30 goals in him if he plays well. Personally, I would not do that. And Greenwood had a good loan spell, but he wasn't as good as people are making out. He got voted player of the season because a swarm of Man United fans voted him player of the season. He wasn't even Getafe's top goal scorer, who would have been their player of the season. Like, he's been good on loan. He's had a good loan spell, but is Greenwood better than Elise? No. Is Greenwood coming back going to cause drama with the squad, going to cause drama with the fans? Yes. Will Greenwood survive playing back in England because he's going to get taunted by the crowds? Greenwood will have the media on him. When you're in a situation like Greenwood is off the pitch, we all have his opinions whether he should come back or not. But when you look at the context of the off-the-field issues around Mason Greenwood, the British media, the pressure of Manchester United, he will be slaughtered if he comes back. He's not better than Elise. It's better for him if he leaves. It's better for us if we cash in on him and use that money to get Elise. That's how I feel about it. Rashford, if a big bid comes in on him and he wants to leave, cash in on him. But I still think there's a player in Rashford that is capable of scoring 30 goals because we've seen it twice. That's the question with Rashford. Personally, myself as well. Also, is Greenwood the ilk of winger we need to unlock our attack? Not really for me, no. Greenwood, again, is someone that likes to shoot, that is selfish. He's not going to give Højlund service. Like, Greenwood didn't work with Ronaldo. Greenwood wouldn't work with Højlund. He could be back up to Højlund, but yeah, he's not the type of winger that we need as well. Someone says Greenwood's a better talent than Elise, much better than Elise, but it's not a talent issue. I think Elise has been better than Greenwood, but Greenwood talent-wise is probably better than Elise. But as you said, talent isn't the issue with Greenwood. There's a lot of issues with Greenwood, and you have to look at the context of that as well. But let's dive into more stories because there's a lot coming out on the Casemiro drama. This was said. Casemiro and Manchester United's directors will hold a meeting to define the future of the midfielder. The expectation is that it will seal the end of the marriage between the club and the player, symbolising one of Sir Jim Ratcliffe's first decisions as head of the institution's football. So basically, what is being said is that there's going to be a big meeting with Casemiro and he's basically going to be told to F off. Basically, that's, in other words, Casemiro's having a big meeting with INEOS. He's fallen out with Ten Hag. He's had a crap season. INEOS didn't even want him in the first place, and they made that clear from the get-go, which does make me feel a little bit sorry for Casemiro that INEOS made it from the get-go clear they didn't want Casemiro. They're going to have a meeting with Casemiro, and they're basically going to say, you want to go to Saudi? Casemiro is going to say, well, look, my reps have had conversations with Saudi. Saudi want me. I'm open to Saudi. Cool, we're going to sell you to Saudi. Fabrizio Romano said in his own words. Fabrizio Romano said in his own words that he expects Casemiro to be in Saudi next season. There's a high chance that Casemiro goes to Saudi. Saudi clubs want Casemiro. Casemiro's told his agent he's open to moving to Saudi. Bosh. Casemiro, Saudi, I think it happens. Romano said he thinks it happens. Man United don't want him. He's fallen out. He wants to go. He's not played a good season. Man United, look how they got rid of Varane. Varane's had a good season when he's played. Varane has had a much better season than Casemiro. Yeah, we've got rid of Varane. They'll get rid of Casemiro, INEOS will. There are reports coming out that they will force Casemiro out of the club and that INEOS do not want him. I mean, we got told in December that INEOS do not want Casemiro. And this was when Casemiro was injured, so it wasn't even like he was playing badly. Like, there is elements where I have a bit of sympathy for Casemiro because he's known this whole time that INEOS don't want him, and that Jim Ratcliffe made a big comment to Murray about why you brought Casemiro. But he is gone, and even Romana said he's basically gone. And I think that meeting will just be telling him, look, adios, you're out. Varane played the most games out of all our centre backs, I believe. Let me check this. Varane, let's look at this quickly. Someone said Varane played the most games out of all our centre backs, and I think that's correct. So Varane played 32 games and 2,300 minutes. Johnny Evans played 30 games and 1,500 minutes. So 2,200 minutes. I think Varane played the most out of all our centre backs. Harry Maguire, let me check though. Lindelof barely played because Lindelof was really injured this season. Yeah, Varane and Maguire both played 2,300 minutes this season. Johnny Evans played 1,800 minutes, and Lindelof played, I don't know. Martin has obviously played like 1,000 minutes. I don't know how much Lindelof played. Let me look at this now. Lindelof played 1,800 minutes. So Varane actually played the most minutes of all our centre-backs last season, which is crazy, actually, as well. The criminal part was Varane was needlessly dropped for 6 weeks early in the season. That's the thing. Varane was fit and he was needlessly dropped for 6 weeks because of passing angles, but I think he had a fallout with Ten Hag. And if Ten Hag's had a fallout with Casemiro and a fallout with Varane, it is a bit concerning. However, if he's fallen out with Casemiro because he played Amrabat over him in the cup final, fair play to Ten Hag because it worked. We won the cup final, and Casemiro had been crap recently, and Amrabat had a few good games next to Kobbie Mainoo as well. Who's leaking the information? I assume Casemiro's reps. It's coming out from Brazilian sources, so it's obviously coming out on Casemiro's side, if true. And these, you know, this is a Brazilian source. I assume someone at Casemiro's camp's not happy. I think Casemiro knows his time at Man United is up. He's going to get that move to Saudi. Someone at Casemiro's camp's not happy. His agent's leaking stuff. Let's get him that move to Saudi. Let's get him out of the club. I think that's the thing as well. Varane's such a professional, humble guy as well. Hard to fall for it. 100%. I don't think Varane did anything wrong, and that worries me that Ten Hag definitely, reportedly, had a fallout with Varane. Now maybe it was a little fallout with Varane, and the media exaggerated it, and then Varane got a bit annoyed, so we dropped Varane for 1 or 2 games, and then just kept with it because we got a clean sheet, and then Varane and him made up. I think Varane is so professional that he would have fallen out with Ten Hag. It wouldn't have been good. They would have made up, and it was easy like that. I think, although sometimes I wonder, did the club not offer Varane an extended contract because there was an issue with Ten Hag there this season, or is it just because of the high wages and stuff as well? Guys, please do hit that like button. Of course, subscribe down below to Alice Talks Football if you're new, and share the video. We've got more information to dive into in a second, but there is basically reports coming out saying that INEOS will likely force Casemiro out no matter who the next manager is, and there's a strong chance that Casemiro will leave Manchester United this summer, and the club will go into the transfer market for a new holding midfielder, what is being said. Let's continue on into the next couple of stories. So Goal BR wanted to add to this story, and they said Casemiro should receive offers in the near future, having already caught the attention of 3 teams: Al Nassr, Al Ahly, and Al something. I'm not going to try and pronounce that. It would be possible not only to match Casemiro's current salary in Manchester, but also put a more lucrative proposal on the table. So there is sort of reports and information coming out that there's 3 teams in Saudi Arabia that are interested in Casemiro. They can offer him a nice lucrative deal. And also, Man United want 30 million for Casemiro. It was said by reliable sources that Saudi are willing to pay up to 25 million for Casemiro. Bit of negotiating power. Bosh, 30 million. 30 million for Casemiro. 19 million pounds saved in wages. You basically got 50 million there saved by selling Casemiro as well. Are Tottenham silly for buying Werner? I don't know. I think they could do better than that, but that's their guess there for depth as well. Xavi and Barcelona agreed on contract extension. That is another story coming out as well. But I want to get back into the Manchester United news. Man United are asking for 30 million for Casemiro. Saudi willing to pay 25 million. I think we can get about 30 million for Casemiro, and I think that'll be good. Varane and Ten Hag were fine the rest of the season, even in the final celebration, it didn't seem like they fell out exactly. And I think maybe there was something there. It was a squabble. It got exaggerated by the media. Varane is so professional. He made up with Ten Hag, and it's all like under the rug now. It's all been swept under the rug. There's no beef there. He's not a Sancho that's going to refuse to play for 4 months. You know, you don't win that many Champions Leagues if you're a troublemaker as well. Worry with Varane is talk of his concussion, needs to protect himself. Yeah. That's another big worry with Varane. Hopefully he's all okay there. So let's continue on. So if you don't know the Casemiro story, apparently he's fallen out with Ten Hag. United want 30 million for him. He was hurt by Ten Hag's decision to drop him in the FA Cup final, and he's going to have a meeting with the board of directors at Manchester United. Yeah. So that was the first thing said. It was then said here that Casemiro will hold a meeting with the board of directors to talk about his future. The expectation is that it will seal the end of the marriage between the club and the player. They're basically saying he's going to have a meeting with Ten Hag and he's going to be forced out, is what's sort of been said, and there's a strong chance he'll leave Manchester United. I do want to get into a few other stories. I do want to get into a few other conversations and a few other talking points. It's interesting to know your thoughts as well. There's a 115 FC clown in the chat. 115. Hopefully they'll be relegated soon, eh? Hopefully they'll be relegated soon. I'm just scrolling down the chat as well. Fofana's one of the best. 25 million, 1 year left on his contract. We will talk about transfers. Yusuf Fofana, midfield, 25 million quid. Yes, please, as well. Someone said Varane, most overrated defender. I don't know what you're on about. I think Varane's almost becoming one of the most underrated defenders because people keep trying to call him overrated when he's been nothing but absolutely class as well. 6 in, 6 out. Will it be the same old crap next season? Hopefully, like 12 out, 7 in. But let's be real. I want to quickly talk about this before I get into other stories. But this was said. Sergio Ratcliffe and INEOS have until Monday to satisfy UEFA that Manchester United and Nice should both be allowed to compete in the Europa League next season. An independent panel is due to rule on the matter before the Europa League qualifying rounds begin in the middle of July. If a solution is not found, United will be forced to drop into the Conference League competition since they finished in a lower position in the Premier League than Nice did in League 1. So, this is the drama. We're meant to be in Europa League. INEOS own Nice, who are also in Europa League. We get pushed into the Conference League. Should we fail? Should INEOS fail to provide something? INEOS seem confident that that won't be an issue. So hopefully they sort that out, because you look at the teams in the Conference League, it's absolute shite. Absolute shite in the Conference League. I don't want to be in the Conference League. It's absolute shite. You might as well not be in Europe and rest, because you'd have to do all those qualifying rounds if we went in the Conference League as well. So I hope we're not in the Conference League. I don't think we'll be in the Conference League. INEOS and Nice seem confident they'll sort it out. But if we do get put in the Conference League, what a shame as well. Biggest earners who think they should be guaranteed game time fall out with manager because he drops them as they're injured or not good enough. It's pathetic. And I agree. At the end of the day, if Casemiro's fallen out with 10 because he's dropped for the FA Cup final when he's been poor, adios, you're on big wages as well. Big at everybody in the chat as well. Let's dive into the next couple of stories. You think Varane will join Casemiro Saudi? There'll be top 5 clubs looking at Varane, top 5 league clubs looking at Varane. There was a couple of stories going about that Inter Milan are strong on the case of Wan-Bissaka. They want him to replace Dumfries. He's valued at 12 million euros. We can get 15 million quid. We can get 20 million euros for Wan-Bissaka. 16 million quid. I think we could get 16 million quid for Wan-Bissaka with 1 year left on his contract because he's adored in Italy. Italian clubs want a player like Wan-Bissaka. I think Man United will probably get like 8 million because we're Man United. He's a 50 million player. Yes, he's got 1 year left on his contract, but he's good in those big games. I reckon you can easily get 18 million pounds for Wan-Bissaka, 15 to 20 million, 17.5 million, bish bash bosh for Wan-Bissaka. I think you can. I think he's a good player and he's adored in Italy. Hopefully he's valued a bit higher than that. It was also said that Borussia Dortmund are considering a move for Mason Greenwood and will make a decision after Saturday's Champions League final against Real Madrid. Borussia Dortmund did come out and basically brief their journalists that they're not interested in signing Mason Greenwood and that it's Mason Greenwood PR linking him to Dortmund. So I would take that story with a pinch of salt. Listen, people, please do go ahead and hit that like button if you have not already. And of course, subscribe down below if you're new and share the video as well. I'm going to jump into a few more stories there. Yeah, 15 million for Wan-Bissaka at least. Basically, all you have to do is avoid the same competition issue is prove that the exact same people are not running both clubs. Exactly, which I don't know how easy that is to prove, but Jim Ratcliffe only owns 25%, so maybe that works in our favour as well. Remember Salzburg and Leipzig, playing in the UCL at the same time. They found a way. They found a loophole because the German teams don't own more than 50% of the club, and Jim Ratcliffe doesn't own more than 50% of United. So I'm sure there's a loophole that can get that sorted as well. So what else is being said? What else is being discussed? What else is being talked upon as well? It was said that INEOS are listening to Ten Hag's recommendations when it comes to incomings and outgoings. It would be an utter joke if they sack him, considering they're making plans with Ten Hag, is what TalkSport are saying, that INEOS are making transfer plans with Ten Hag. Now, I wouldn't totally be listening to who Ten Hag wants in and out, because Ten Hag's recruitment has been interesting, let's just say the release. But apparently they're having conversations with Ten Hag about recruitment, which would suggest that Ten Hag could be safe. And the interesting thing is, this season they had been planning for next season with Ten Hag, but they'd also been talking to representatives of other managers. So it's like, okay, they're planning for next season with Ten Hag, but then they're talking for representatives of other managers. So what is it? What is want to do? No one knows, to be honest. Guys, we're so close to 200 likes. We've got over 800 people watching. I want to hit 400 likes by the end of the live stream. So if literally just half of you watching right now hit that like button, we will smash that 400 like target. So please do that. I would appreciate that as well. We will talk about the transfer window in a second, but we're going to talk about the boring manager news. Boring manager news. I know we're all bored of manager this, manager that, manager speculation, but there is a couple stories coming out on the manager front that has annoyed me, to be honest. He has annoyed me, and I do want to discuss it with you guys and get your guys' thoughts and opinions on it. So let's dive into these first two stories here. Samuel Luckhurst said this: Manchester United are not planning to deliver an imminent verdict on Erik Ten Hag's future. Man United are not expected to make an imminent decision on Ten Hag's future as they continue to conduct the end of season review, says Rich Fay. INEOS, hurry the F up. The longer this goes on, the longer this drags on, the more media rumours there's going to be, the more speculation there's going to be. What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? Because it can't take weeks to plan. Don't tell me the rumour that you're waiting for Southgate to finish the Euro so you can bring Southgate in is true. Because I tell you what, if you string Ten Hag along the whole of June, we go into July, season, less than a month before the season, we get Southgate in. Embarrassing. Apparently Brailsford wants Southgate. Embarrassing. I don't think that will happen though. Why is this taking so long? Why has it got to take so long? You sack him or you don't sack him. Obviously, it's a big and massive important decision and you need to do analysis on all the candidates. You'll probably want the input of Omar Barada and Dan Ashworth. But if we don't have clarity next week, that's not good. Is that because they want to replace Ten Hag with someone, but they don't want to be in a Tuchel situation where they get rejected by all the potential replacements for Ten Hag? And they're just waiting to see if they can get their replacement sealed. That's what Melissa Reddy suggested, and she's a good journalist. I don't know. What's taking long? Is it they want to wait for a good time to announce that he's been sacked? They want to make sure they can get the right manager if they sack him and they're not in a Tuchel situation like Bayern? Or they were going to sack him, but now they're discussing keeping him because he won the FA Cup final? What is taking so long? Or are they going to keep him and wait for him to get back from holiday before they have any kind of conversations as well? Who knows? But it is frustrating how long this whole manager situation is taking, and I hope that it is rounded up sooner rather than later, because it is driving me crazy as well. Walking to the right decision, I expect it very soon. Do you know what? I said if it doesn't come out Tuesday, it'll come out Friday. I think we'll know Friday the decision on the manager front. I think we'll know by Friday what the decision is as well. Erik Ten Hag said that I want to sign a striker, another midfielder and a centre-back to replace Varane next season, and I promise you I can challenge for top four again. We are looking into this. So Erik Ten Hag is planning transfers as well. People are saying it's disgusting that Ten Hag was aiming for top four in his third season, but after you finished 8th, you don't go from 8th to 1st, which, I get like Ten Hag's going into his third season saying we should be challenging for top four again next season. Your third season of Ten Hag's rebuild, we should be doing better than top four, but I just don't think we can go to 8th to win in the league. You have to be realistic, and I think that Ten Hag, sadly, is being realistic about the state of the club that Manchester United are in as well. Alice, there's both valid reasons for keeping and getting rid of Ten Hag, to be honest. We just have to look at who the replacement is and analyse if they're really better, and I agree with that. I absolutely agree with that. 100%. Alice, when does the transfer window open? June? I think it's June 14th or June 12th or something like that. I should know that. When does the transfer window open? According to Google, it is Friday the 14th of June, so I did get that correct. But you can do deals now, but it's not officially open to the 14th of June. Clever clubs do deals now. Manchester United like to wait until it's open to do anything because they like to use that as an excuse not to do anything. Although I have been said expect movements on Elise soon because Man United want to beat Chelsea to the player, and Chelsea obviously working quite strongly on trying to bring in Elise as well. Man United will probably wait to July 14th, but it is June 14th that opens as well. We need a new left back. We do. I'm open to buying a centre back that can also play left back, that can cover Martins and Shaw, like a versatile player as well. Joel Gaze, as part of managerial discussions, very suspect that clearly falls into sporting control. This is the one thing that worries me, and I don't know if you guys watched my video earlier. And I'm gonna get up the notes from that. Give me a sec if you watched my video earlier. But basically, Joel, and this wound me up this morning. I had a big rant this morning. Joel Glazer apparently is going to have a big say on who the next manager is. Why is Joel effing Glazer, who knows nothing about football, going to be having a big say on who the next Man United manager is? Why should Joel Glazer have a say? Okay, you own Man United, but you know nothing about football because you're an idiot. Why are you going to have a say on who the next Man United manager is? Winds me up. Eric Ten Hag doesn't have what it takes to deal with a grown man who's got weak man energy. There's definitely going to be question marks around Eric Ten Hag's man management for sure. But there's an argument for keeping Ten Hag. There's an argument for sacking Ten Hag. Both of that are valuable depending on the replacement, as said earlier. I'd like Ten Hag to stay. Of course, there's things about Ten Hag that would make me sceptical, but I would like Ten Hag to stay. I believe he can succeed. I do worry about certain aspects, his stubbornness, how he deals with big players and all of that as well. But it is what it is. Do you know what I mean? Do you think Man United could do something better next season because of Arne Slot coming in and Liverpool maybe dropping off? If we get the summer transfer window right and we get lucky with injuries and potentially Ten Hag, showed what he showed last season, yeah, United could finish third and push City and City and Arsenal, but I don't think we pushed them properly. Liverpool finished outside the top four last season. They were in a tight race into April. We could do something like that, maybe. We could finish above Spurs, we could finish above Chelsea, we can finish above Newcastle, we can finish above Villa, and we could finish above Liverpool in a slot rebuild for sure. But again, it's all about if Man United sort themselves out. That's something. The biggest asset keeping Eric Ten Hag will be youth development opportunities. I love the involvement of Kobbie Mainoo. I love the involvement of Garnacho. Harry Amas is probably the next one to watch, I think. Maybe Shea Lacey with his head injury issues, and I think with the left back issues, Harry Amas. I think Ten Hag has a plan to integrate Harry Amas a lot in pre-season and bring him through. So Harry Amas is one to watch, but I like the Højlund, Mainoo, Garnacho core. Harry Amas playing a big role. Ten Hag's attention to youth, I really like it all. So hopefully that continues. And I think for me, there's question marks around Ten Hag, his stubbornness, his man management, but I also like a lot of the stuff he does. I reckon we'll keep Ten Hag because we're cheap. That's the only good thing about Joel Glazer being involved in the conversations over Ten Hag's future is we're cheap, you might keep him. There is reports coming out of Italy that Man United are in advanced talks to bring in Roberto De Zerbi, but it is coming out from Italian media that love to use Man United for interactions, that love to use Man United for the click. So although there's mass amounts of reports coming out from Italian media that, Man United go for De Zerbi, Man United close for De Zerbi, Man United De Zerbi this, Man United De Zerbi that, with Italian media, I always say, well, you know what? You've got to put a big question mark around it. It's not reliable. Hence why I'm not reporting on it, because I think Pradella I thought was a good source, but I think he's a bit of a waffle mouse now. INEOS are waiting for the fan support to turn out to quieten down so they can sack him without backlash. They'll wait till the Euros start when most fans are preoccupied with England, and potentially, I don't think they'll wait that long, but I think they might wait a week just for that to quieten down, because I do think at the end of the day, reliable sources said they plan to sack Ten Hag and they spoke to reps of other managers. That suggests to me they've probably decided to sack Ten Hag, but maybe they're going to make a U-turn and that as well. Even Simon Stone says many wrong clubs about United the last few months, has he? INEOS don't have full sporting control or voluntary involving Glazers in sporting matters, which is even worse, which is definitely a concern there as well. None of the soft players of the last 2 minutes under Fergie. I mean, we've got some good players, but we do have some soft players that definitely need discipline, which is, again, I think the next manager coming in has to, get the player mentality, has to you know, get these players playing well, that some of them aren't physically and technically able to play good football. So yes, we're not playing good football Ten Hag, but we're not playing the football Ten Hag wants to play because we don't have the players to play the football Ten Hag wants to play. Arteta didn't play good football in his first 2 seasons. It took to his 3rd season. So it might take to Ten Hag's 3rd season to see good football with the right recruitment, under the right board, under the right structure of INEOS. We might eventually see good football under Ten Hag, which is another reason why I'd love to see Ten Hag backed as well. The season is over and Ten Hag is causing fallout. Well, I don't think Ten Hag's done anything wrong. He dropped Casemiro, and rightly so, and Casemiro's upset about that, according to reports. Don't think you can blame Ten Hag for that as well. It's an odd narrative to seem to think we have a brilliant squad being held back by a gaffer. Yeah, at the end of the day, the squad is crap. No new manager is going to like massively change this squad overnight or do anything crazy. And I think people seem to forget that actually, you know, what's not Nagelsmann can't play Nagelsmann ball with the squad. There'll be a lot of changes that need to happen. Chelsea very close to announcing Enzo Maresca as their next manager. Big risk from Chelsea. I'd have kept with Poch, but it is what it is as well. Majority of Man United fans are silly and reactionary. No, every fan base has silly and reactionary fans, but I don't think we can say it's just Man United fans. It's just some people react to other news differently. You know, I don't agree with the mass amounts of hate Rashford's got. I think we can criticise him. Belfast was a disgrace. I don't agree with the mass amount of hate Rashford got. I think we do have silly fans that think selling Bruno is going to cause our problems. It's going to solve our problems. Sorry. A lot of fans think selling Bruno is what we should do, which I think is crazy. One of our better players. I saw one Man United fan saying Maino's shite and we should replace him with Longstaff. I think that was a troll. Every fan base has people with silly opinions. Football's all about opinion. Look, some people are a bit more reactionary than others. I always try and look at everything from both perspectives. I can understand people wanting Ten Hag out. I can understand if INEOS do sack Ten Hag. I'd like Ten Hag to stay though, and I have my reasons for that. I think I always try, as someone that is doing YouTube and I give my opinion a lot, I also try and look at everything from everyone's perspective to understand it. Because I don't think there's no right or wrong answer in football. It is all about opinion. And I can understand a lot of arguments from either side, but then you do get the odd ridiculous one. Like, I can't understand why you'd sell Bruno Fernandes. I can understand when he's out of form of frustration, but I can't understand selling him as well. Rashford was class last season, which is a reason I'd be patient with him as well. Keeping Erik Ten Hag is such an open goal from INEOS. They should read the room. I think the thing with INEOS is they keep Ten Hag, they've got to give him a new contract, and I don't think they want to give him a new contract, which is why I don't think they want to keep him. But I also don't think they're nailed on about the people to replace him with. Maybe there's someone we haven't been linked to that INEOS are going to replace Ten Hag with, like, I don't know, Pep Guardiola, for example. And we're all going to find out about this later. Pep wants to leave 115 before the ship sinks, take the Man United job, bish, bash, bosh. Maybe secretly they're doing work for Pep Guardiola and they're just keeping it quiet, and that's why everything's delayed. That's probably not the case. That was just me joking around, but it'd be interesting to see. Listen, people, Rashford and Saka would be good. Look, there's a lot of rumours and reports of Rashford to Arsenal. Is there any credibility in the reports to Rashford to Arsenal? I don't know. It's Rashford, Man United might sell him for the right price. Arteta revived Havertz. Of course, Arsenal were interested in Rashford. Good player, Premier League proven. They need left wing because Martinelli's been crap. Rashford would be good at Arsenal. I wouldn't want to see Rashford at Arsenal. I don't think he'll go to Arsenal. I don't think there's much in it. We'll see how that heats up, to be fair. We'll see how that Rashford to Arsenal news heats up. But listen, people, I'm going to sum up the live stream here. I just wanted to do a little short live stream to talk about the Casemiro drama, Rashford news, transfer news, general news. If any breaking news comes out tonight, I will be back tonight if any breaking news comes out. If not, I will be back tomorrow with a live show or shorter video. Please hit the like button on the way out. If you just joined, scroll back to the beginning for all the Casemiro news. Thank you for watching today's stream. See you next time, guys. Bye.